Ask the Expert with Brenda Hollingsworth from Auger Hollingsworth continues now. If you'd like to ask a question, feel free to do so. 613-789-6559, extension 2803. They can be just general questions. You can email, you can Facebook questions. They can be just general questions. You don't have to get into specifics of your case or a pending case or anything like that. But I understand why people might want to be private about that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. We don't need revealing information.
No. We talked about how to select a personal injury lawyer, if in fact that's the point in the road that you're at. And here's some great questions on your website, right? Obviously, how long have you been involved in practicing this type of law is a question.
Yeah, you really don't want to be anybody's first case.
No. Although somebody's got to have somebody's got to be your first.
You do that for your neighbor,
do you remember
your friend.
Your first case?
I remember I do, but I was junioring for someone. Right.
So you were kind of assisting.
That's right. So that's what you want, right? Somebody who's been trained by an experienced personal injury lawyer.
Exactly. All kinds of great questions that you can ask here when you get to that point of selecting a lawyer for your case. Now, some people might have the question, and you do answer it here.
Yeah.
Is how do personal injury lawyers get paid? That question kind of goes hand in hand with, if I win my case, how do I get paid?
Right. So in terms of how personal injury lawyers get paid, usually you're offered two options. One is sort of the traditional pay by the hour, and you get billed on a monthly basis, and the lawyer would collect the fees and continue to work on your file.
Right.
That's not very common. It's always available, but that's generally not what people choose.
Is it usually a percentage?
It's usually a percentage. And so how that works is there's a contract, and the lawyer gets paid if and when there's a settlement or a judgment.
Depending on the case, the percentages are different?
Well, for our motor vehicle accident cases, we have a percentage, a maximum percentage that we won't go above. And then sort of below that, it sort of depends on how long the case goes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and so that's something that we talk about with the client.
And is that a fair way to go about this?
Well, I think it's fair. I mean, it means the client has no upfront commitment. A lot of people who are facing a personal injury aren't working. What money they have, they're spending on things relating to the accident.
True enough.
So this way, they don't have to worry about that up front.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I mean, the lawyers don't charge interest on their fees or anything. They carry all the costs and then get a percentage at the end.
Yeah. But Brenda, what if we don't win?
Well, the terms of our agreement are if you don't win, the lawyer doesn't get any fees.
If you don't win, they don't pay.
That's right. So that's, we're pretty careful about which cases we select, right? So there's not always a large element of risk. I'm usually pretty sure that the person's going to get something.
Well, that leads me to think that if in fact I sit down with you for a consultation and you look me square in the eye and say, you know what, this is not a winnable case.
Oh, yeah.
Then why would you do it anyway?
Right. And I mean, I would, in that circumstance, if you were adamant, I would do it on an hourly basis. Right.
If you really wanted to see something happen.
If you really want to go, or sometimes cases are too small for me. Right. So I might refer you to one of the books so that you can do it yourself. Lots of personal injury cases, small ones, are settled by the person alone. Right.
Speaking of the books, they're here on the right side of the website here, and they're free. This one you brought with you today, and you usually do, Injured Victims Guide to Fair Compensation. Right?
Yeah, and that one, both of these two together, Crash Course and Injured Victims, really help people understand sort of the big picture of the personal injury case, and also, especially Crash Course, if you want to handle it yourself, what are some steps you can take?
This is a savvy woman's guide to Ontario car accident claims, but it applies to everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of got some chick humor in it, but guys would be able to get something out of that as well.
This is interesting. Spinning Out of Control, the Ontario Bicycle Accident Handbook.
Yeah, this one's an e-book, so it's a download, and it is to address the questions you have after you've been hit as a cyclist.
Yeah.
And that one's actually quite popular.
Yeah, no doubt, since we're such a huge cycling community.
Yes, and there are a ridiculous number of accidents, unfortunately.
Right. Okay, so once I get to the point of I've selected you as my lawyer, I've asked the questions that I feel I need to ask. Does it then fall upon you to educate your client as to what's expected of them?
Yeah, and there are expectations of the client, right? Because there are some things there is no way the lawyer can know unless the client tells the lawyer. So we ask our clients to send us updates every 6 weeks, email, phone call, be in touch, and tell us, you know, have you seen that specialist? Are you back to work?
Yes, because
you know?
again, these can be long, drawn-out processes.
That's
simply
right.
because of seeing doctors and recovery time.
That's
and,
right.
And getting the necessary information documented and so on for insurance company purposes, which can take a while.
Well, we were just looking at the paper this morning, and our area of Eastern Ontario has the longest MRI wait time. And the people who are waiting for MRIs in this city are fortunately not the cancer victims, that kind of thing.
Right.
But people who have soft tissue injuries, the kinds of injuries that you get in personal injury cases.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way you're going to settle your case while you're waiting for that MRI.
No.
Because the insurance company is not going to assume that it's going to show something. They're going to assume that it's not going to show something.
Gotcha.
So you got to wait, right? And then if you wait the 204 days or whatever the average is, and then you're waiting for surgery. So, you know, all of that has to happen.
204 days is like getting close to 2/3 of a year.
It is. It's a long time. And that's the average. Some people are waiting longer. And we see that.
And that's just one thing.
Right.
In the process.
That's right. And usually for a lot of orthopedic type surgeries, I'm no doctor, but
there's
usually,
way more to it.
That's right, but you need the MRI. It's a prerequisite to get the appointment.
We have one more opportunity for you to ask questions of Brenda today. If you'd like to make a phone call, 613-789-6559, extension 2803. Email ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. You can even Facebook a question. Feel free to do so. Get a question in here before we wrap things up. We're with Brenda Hollingsworth of Auger Hollingsworth. There's how you get in touch with them. That's their email address and their phone number and website. So listen, it's worth a call. If you've got a question on your mind right now in regard to personal injury, it's worth a telephone call. There are no stupid questions when it comes to this sort of thing. We'll be back with our third segment here on Ask the Expert after this.